Building on the best features of its AutoLine drill guide, Woodpeckers introduces the AutoAngle drill guide to drill at a precise angle as well as perfectly square. The base of the AutoAngle has machine-engraved guides. Line those up with the layout lines on your material for pinpoint accuracy of your hole, at any angle, the company explained in a release. Product engineer Ben Wallenberg designed a protractor base that employs a virtual pivot point that is in line with the top of your material. That means the entry point of the drill bit is the same whether you're drilling vertically or at an angle, said Wallenberg. The multi-router features true 3-axis linear motion. A router mounts horizontally in a table that moves up and down while the workpiece is clamped to a table that moves in and out and side to side. This arrangement has distinct advantages over a router table or shaper for certain operations, mortise and tenon joinery being the prime example, according to Woodpeckers. Every motion of the router and workpiece is controlled by a series of 12 tight tolerance linear bearings riding on hardened, ground and polished linear guide rails. Even the complicated compound angle joinery found in chair construction is simplified by the design. But mortise and tenon joinery is just the beginning of what the multi-router can do. It also cuts sliding dovetails, through dovetails, box joints, loose tenon joints and more. No matter how cleverly engineered a table saw might be, it always seems like the miter gauge was an afterthought. The ones that come with new saws are typically barely usable, and most aftermarket miter gauges assume the miter slots in the tables are straight and uniform. So, their engineers set out to develop a new type of miter gauge. A miter gauge that reliably performs the one job woodworkers need most from it, a perfectly square cut, and can do it regardless of how sloppy the machining of the miter slot. Mark the face as well as the side of your board accurately, without having to readjust your square with the new Woodpecker's Saddle T-Square. Precision separates this square from other products on the market. Your eyes gravitate to all of the perforating holes, which are specifically spaced 1/32 inch apart and sized for just the top of a mechanical pencil.
These little guys here are called stair gauges. A stair gauge. This is a nifty little attachment. Hold on. If these things are so great, why doesn't Woodpeckers make them? Well, now we do. Woodpecker's new stair gauges come in two lengths. The extended pair is perfect for working with construction lumber with big roundovers and barky edges. The standard length pair works perfectly with delve squares on furniture and cabinet projects. Woodpecker stair gauges are so simple to set up. Just slide them on the protractor scale, set it at the desired angle, and lock. Now, align the stair gauge and the pivot point on the edge of your stock and mark the angle. They're also great for corner offsets using Woodpecker's precision triangles. Of course, they also work with any brand of carpenter square that has angle graduations. And they work with any brand of framing square for rise and run stair layout. Using a framing square to mark a board leaves a lot to be desired. As you drop the reference edge down to align it, the marking edge comes off the material and lets your pencil wander in and out. Pop a pair of stair gauges on the edge, and now it's square to the edge and dead flat on your stock. The stair gauges are milled from aircraft-grade aluminum. Each face is machined on our computer-controlled Swiss lathes. Then they're anodized in our familiar Woodpecker's red finish. Woodpecker's stair gauge set comes with one pair of short stair gauges, one pair of extended stair gauges, and a handy wall-mountable racket, so you never have to dig through drawers to find them. Stair gauges add speed, accuracy, and repeatability to any carpenter square. If you're the kind of woodworker who wants to get the most out of your tool investment, you're going to love the newest accessory for Woodpecker's woodworking rules, the 4590 Combo T. Woodpecker's new 4590 Combo T turns any size Woodpecker's woodworking rule into a T-square. But that's not all. Depress the locking button and rotate the head until it snaps in at a perfect 45-degree angle. Now you can lay out octagons and 45-degree miters up to 49.5 inches long. Assembling the 4590 Combo T to your woodworking rule couldn't be simpler. 2 flathead machine screws thread into the rule and pull the head into alignment. Leave it on all the time or install it just when you need it. It's up to you. In addition to holding the rule perpendicular to your material, the 4590 also gives you a perfect end reference when measuring. You know the 0 point of the rule is right at the edge of your stock. That makes transferring dimensions to material a snap. The 4590 Combo T comes complete with a wall-mountable racket to keep it right in plain sight and always ready to go. The racket holds the 4590 with a rule installed, or by itself. There's even more to love about Woodpecker's woodworking rules when you pair them up with the 4590 Combo T. The automatically adjusting fence is just one of the features of the Autoscale miter sled that puts it head and shoulders above everything else on the market. Let's take a look at the rest. The table is made from 1/2-inch thick solid phenolic. It will never shrink or swell with changes in temperature or humidity. The miter bar has 2 T-washers on the leading edge, which provides extra support when making wide crosscuts. It also has leaf springs that compensate for oversized or heavily worn miter slots. There are positive stops for common miter angles. Just slide the fence into position, push in on the pin, and lock it up. When you're setting any other angle, the protractor is large and easy to read and graduated in 1/2 degree increments. The extruded aluminum fence is tall and rigid for solid support. The laser engraved scale on the top of the fence is held to a tolerance of 4/1000ths of an inch total accumulated air over the length of the fence. The stop has a feature that fits back into the fence. This prevents sharp mitered ends from lifting the stop out of position. You can fine-tune the position of the stop with the micro adjuster. The fence will take the stop out to 27.5 inches. Then you can lock the stop at the end and extend it out to a full 50 inches. The end extension has a shelf to support the end of long workpieces. There's an optional drop zone table to fit beside your Autoscale to catch your offcuts. The drop zone is milled to fit our stealth stops. This arrangement makes it safe and convenient to cut multiple short workpieces. The left side Autoscale is the most popular. If you work with a lot of complex moldings or compound angles, you can add a right side Autoscale. The drop zone is perfectly symmetrical, so it works on either side of the blade with the matching Autoscale. A scale that works all the time at any angle. A positive stop that won't let a sharp edge ruin your project. A miter bar that fits old saws as well as it fits new ones. A crosscut capacity of 24 inches on most saws, and a table material that will stand up to any rugged workshop. The Autoscale is the best miter sled you can put in your
Layout work on the narrow edge of stock is awkward with most woodworking rules. The rule must align with the face of your stock, but it's wider than the edge you're trying to measure, preventing you from marking without breaking alignment. And you can still struggle to keep the rule parallel to the edge while working on the face of a workpiece. Woodpecker's new Woodworker's Edge rule eliminates these issues by wrapping around the edge of your stock with an accurate scale on both sides. The short side of the tool is just 3/8 of an inch wide, leaving room to mark stock as thin as 7/16, while the long side reaches 3/4 of an inch across the face of your piece. Whether you're working on the edge or the face, the corner of the edge rule always keeps you properly aligned. Use the Woodworker's Edge rule to measure from inside corners by keeping your scale square to your stock and starting flush at the edge. Mark the edge and face at the same dimension by placing the desired dimension at the end of your board. Find the center of 3/4 inch nominal stock by scribing a line from both sides. Plus, use the edge rule for midfield measurements. Both edges are beveled, placing the scale right next to your work. simplifying marking and minimizing parallax error. Available in handy 6, 12, 24, and 36-inch lengths, all of your project sizes are covered. The Woodworker's Edge Rule from Woodpeckers. Precision made in the USA.
Routers need a helping hand to do their job. There are thousands of jigs, guides, and templates on the market for your router, and most of them are designed to do one job. Well, we're about to change that. This is Woodpecker's multifunction router base, a feature-packed accessory designed to make routing jobs easier and more accurate. It guides your router in precisely straight lines and perfect arcs. Let's look at straight lines first. Install the edge guide in one of 10 locations on the base. Slide your router onto the polished stainless steel guide rods and you're ready to route precisely parallel to the edge of your stock. But I still haven't shown you the coolest feature of the multifunction router base. Just reach for the micro adjuster and dial your router in to exactly the right position for your cut. For example, these two lines are the exact position for this piece of plywood. I'll drop the bit into the cut, dial it into the line with the micro adjuster, and make the first half of the cut. Now I'll tweak it over to the other side and make the second half of the cut. Perfect fit. And here's product engineer Cody Uhrig on the micro adjuster.
I was working with the router table micro adjuster one day in the shop, and it dawned on me that the pair of guide rods with the adjustment screw centered between them could be adapted to the router base I was designing. Keeping things centered balances the tool and smooths out operation, both when you're adjusting the tool and when you're using it.
The 10 positions of the edge guide give you a range from barely kissing the edge to a full 8 inches away. If you need more, add the extension base and position your edge up to 21 inches away. Still not enough? Optional extension guide rods can be added. Each pair adds another 12 inches. Stack up as many as you need. There's also a set of mortising pins that make it simple to route in the edge of your stock. With the micro adjuster, you can accurately cut mortises wider than your router bit or position your mortise offset to one side or the other. For cutting arcs, you have options similar to the edge guide. The base has 4 different access points that give you a range from 3/4 inch up to 8 1/4 inches. By combining different arcs and working with the support of the large base, projects like this chip and dip tray couldn't be simpler. If you need to go beyond that, the standard extension guide rods will take you all the way out to a 45-inch diameter, or add optional extensions to go as far as you need. And when you're cutting arcs, the access point is centered between the support rods and directly in line with your bit. Woodpecker's multifunction router base unlocks your creativity.
Router tables transformed the handheld router into a versatile stationary machine. Now Mortise Match does the same thing for your domino joiner. Woodpecker's new Mortise Match simplifies all types of frame construction with the domino joiner. It lets you precisely locate mortises in either square or mitered stock that is too narrow to use the regular domino methods. This 45-degree mitered frame, for example. If I index off the flap, the mortise is too close to the inside corner of the miter. Here's the center of the cutter, and the edge of the mortise would be out here in space. And it's hard to feel when the domino is perfectly flat on narrow or molded material. On the Mortise Match table, The protractor fence can be adjusted to put the mortise right where you want it. Slide the stainless steel reference arm against the indexing flap when you have the fence right where you want it. Now, after you cut the first mortise on each workpiece, flip the protractor fence over and position it against the other indexing flap. Cut the second mortise on each piece of your frame. And you're done. The protractor fence adjusts anywhere between 90 and 45 degrees. So this same procedure works on any number of sides. Mounting the domino to the mortise match couldn't be simpler. Just bolt the carriage to your domino frame using the 2 threaded holes in the base. Drop the carriage sleeves onto the rods and install the stop. The carriage adjusts to locate the center of the mortise anywhere between 6 millimeters and 30 millimeters. That means you can locate a mortise in the center of stock from a 1/2 inch thick to over 2 inches thick. Standard Festool style track clamps fit the grooves in the table to provide versatile clamping of your material. And if your project calls for a mortise in a larger piece of stock while you're using Mortise Match, you don't even have to take the carriage off to use it as a handheld domino. Just unscrew the retaining bolt and lift it off. You'll get so much more out of your domino once you have Mortise Match in your shop. You'll have better control on smaller material, and even on projects where you could use your domino by hand, Mortise Match speeds up the process and takes the weight of the machine off your hand.